Farmers set dogs on a fox and post cruel video to Facebook. An unsuspecting fox suffered a long, drawn-out death at the hands, or rather paws, of 2 dogs after it made the grave mistake of sneaking into a barn in Cornwall, England. The hounds, Lady and Princess, were let loose under the command of their twisted owners, 41-year-old Jack Crocker and 21-year-old Robbie Long. With nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, the fox was dragged by the throat, shaken like a rag doll, and tossed around the barn as the cruel farmers laughed. Bitten, battered, and terrified, the fox eventually died. Clearly proud of how they'd handled the intruder, the farmers uploaded video of the attack to Facebook in June of 2016. Unfortunately for them, the clip quickly caught the attention of the RSPCA, which launched an investigation. As a result, both Long, pictured here, and Crocker have been fined and will serve a suspended sentence of 6 weeks in prison. In addition, Crocker was sentenced to an extra 2 weeks in jail for using a crossbow to murder a wild rabbit in a separate incident. Despite their evident disregard for the suffering of animals, the men were not barred from keeping animals in their care. But following the court hearing, they did hand over their dogs to the RSPCA. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Foxes find themselves in all kinds of situations. Here's a few.
Fox cub rescued from drain pipe in England. This little fox cub in Cooten Beach, England is lucky to be alive after falling down a pipe and finding himself trapped with no place to go. On the afternoon of May 10th, these wildlife rescuers were called in to save the fox cub after it had been spotted the night before. However, given the network of underground pipes they were dealing with, there was no telling where the little guy might be. The cub's mother, stressed and unable to get to her offspring, hovered near the scene as the rescuers tried to figure out the best way to get the cub back above ground. All they could really do was play the waiting game, and that's what they did, until all of a sudden a little rumbling started to shake within the pipe. When the little fox made his move toward the light, the rescuers were ready and plucked him out by his tail and back up to safety. He was a bit shaken up, and after all, who wouldn't be? But after a quick bath, the cub was placed in a cage and left out in the open so his mother could come and retrieve him. He'll surely be grounded for his dicey escapade, but as they say, boys will be boys.
Police seize a horde of exotic animals from woman's home. Trisha Meyer's been hoarding, selling, and transporting exotic animals from state to state. But her greed finally got the best of her when authorities searched her house and discovered a circus of creatures roaming around the property. Meyer got on police radar back in September when a California man told authorities that she'd sold him an exotic kitten for $3,000, but never delivered the feline. Police arrived at her home in Harris County, Texas, and found tigers, monkeys, a skunk, a fox, and a cougar walking around freely. Her 14-year-old daughter was petting them. Meyer, for some reason, reportedly told the police that the monkeys were vicious and that one had actually attacked someone. She had permits for the tigers, but not for the skunk or fox. Why it's legal to own tigers in Texas, however, is anyone's guess. Meyer soon found herself evicted when police notified her landlord that she'd been keeping the exotic animals on the property. The 34-year-old then attempted to move her operation to Nye County, Nevada, but when neighbors called in reports of tigers running around the backyard, the jig was finally up. Meyer was arrested on November 7th. Her animals have been confiscated and placed in the care of an animal shelter in Houston. Meyer will be extradited back to Harris County on charges of theft and child endangerment. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Norwegian duo Ylvis asked this question.
What does the fox say?
The answer will come later, but until then, here's a story about another fox. A 75-year-old Swedish woman heard something upsetting her cats. She went out to look and found total darkness. Then a fox after her chickens ran through her legs and she pinned it between her shins and grabbed it. She threw it around in the air twice. Then it met a violent end against the edge of some stone steps. The woman's been keeping her eye on another fox in the area since. Now, here's the answer to the earlier question.